Yes, you read that right. Woke ideas in video games is not the reason these games are bad. What exactly does woke mean? Depending on who you ask, you might get different magnitudes of the definition. It's like asking how much cheese is too much cheese on a pizza. It can be from having a female character in the game crossing the line, making it woke, to, having sex with a bear as woke. The word woke is used so much that even I don't really know how to define it, as it's just used so much that its own word is its own definition. But if I had to loosely define it, it's anything pertaining to progressive social politics. This is pretty much directly connected to another very common term nowadays, DEI, which stands for Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, which thankfully does have a proper definition. It is a term used to describe policies and programs that promote the representation and participation of different groups of individuals. In a vacuum, it sounds pretty harmless as it just widens the scope of topics and I guess awakens your third eye if you choose to or not. So why does every bad game that came out in the past couple of years have one thing in common? All signs point towards wokeness and DEI, because who likes it when your beloved video game character that you grew up with and played a lot as just magically changed race or gender? Why is the game that I remember to be so fun and appealing just flat out turning into a social political lecture? Ma'am, this is a Nintendo Wii, just put the disc in the tray. There's a lot of videos you can watch of like a before and after of this wokeness movement, and it just feels like it lost all of its personality. Which is kind of ironic as the main idea of being woke is embracing your unique personality. Some of these games, especially shown in the screenshot, are games that pertain to this wokeness movement. And most of these games were clearly not well liked in the public's eye. For what reason? You guessed it, DEI, wokeness, radical ideas, blah blah blah, the list goes on. And honestly, if I only had 2 working brain cells and couldn't read an analog clock, I would think the same thing. I think the biggest offender to this rule is Baldur's Gate 3. Now, you can fuck a bear in that game if you wanted to. I think that in itself crosses many moral lines. But you don't hear anyone complaining about the game. Why is that? Because the game is amazing. Freedom to do whatever and however you want. I can sit here and glaze the game all day, but the main point is that the game functions mechanically well. It's a well-rounded game which includes music, gameplay, combat, interactions, system, story, and most importantly, it was immersive. You want to know another game that has woke ideals? Metaphor ReFantagio. That game essentially built the game world from the ground up with many social and political turmoil that can be a metaphor to today's world. It's fun, appealing, and most importantly, it's immersive. These are the games that I'm willing to lose sleep and play the game more. Then we have the games on the other end of the spectrum. We've all seen the memes. Dragon Age the Veilguard. You look on Twitter, you will see everyone bash on especially this one character, Tosh. Why? They're annoying, rude, and a hypocrite. They're non-binary, so they use they-them pronouns. Yes, they say that in the game, and the game reinforces this many times. But Tosh likes name-calling your other companion who is a necromancer, calling him names like, Bone Lover or Zombie Smeller or whatever, even though he clearly hates it. What is this writing? And so obviously, people are quick to point that out and be like, yep, that one character alone is what makes this game horrible. That's where I'm going to have to stop you. That's not the only reason why the game is bad. Remember, this is called Dragon Age. The graphics, I think, is off-tone for the series. The main storyline itself was a sleeper. The combat was repetitive. No enemy diversity, no notable soundtracks for me at least. Gameplay loop is very predictable and very repetitive, and in general just wasn't immersive. It felt like something you had to pay me to play. So yes, the game sucked, but it's not because of woke or DEI, it's because the game functionally was just bad. And if I had a problem with a black female as a protagonist, then just put a mod that makes them a white male. But that doesn't solve all the other 10 different core systems and loops that are included in the game. You can look at Concord and Overwatch. If you take a step back, they are both woke. Overwatch actively introduces new characters from around the world representing different cultures along with different identities. And you could also draw a parallel with Concord's characters but mixed with like alien-like features. So why did people play Overwatch over Concord? They're both woke, so is Concord just more woke than Overwatch? Of course not. Concord was painfully boring. I'd rather watch paint dry than play that horrendous game. It wasn't just the characters, it was the actual gameplay, progression, music, and ultimately a reason to keep playing. People play Overwatch to have fun, rank up, play with friends, or whatever. I played a couple of games of Concord, and I had no real reason or need to keep playing. No progression systems that felt rewarding enough, the games were too slow and took too long, and the game modes themselves weren't original or special in any way. So saying go woke or go broke is not a true statement because somehow Overwatch's servers are still online after many years. Then we look at what happened during the Game Awards. The main thing of note from the Game Awards, at least in terms of new games coming out, were The Witcher 4 and Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet. Immediately, these games were labeled as DEI, woke, and dead on arrival. I'm sorry, but these are cinematic trailers. They didn't show any gameplay for 1 second. Whether or not you like the design of Ciri, she will not be the only reason the game is good or bad. Super Mario isn't good because Mario is a male character. Super Mario was good because it was fun and rewarding. And Intergalactic Heretic is not going to be good or bad solely from the fact that the main character is a bald female that doesn't look attractive. If either game is bad, it's going to be a collection of different problems, not just the appearance of a few characters. And vice versa. The game isn't going to be good only if the characters were hot females or very masculine males. And while I do agree there seems to be a trend of more woke ideals and how prominent they are, especially in any sort of like news publications or trailers, there is a trend of them turning out to be bad when they do release. I think it's bad to solely look at an appearance or face value of a product, such as a cinematic trailer, and judge its future. Because if we only complain about character design and only the character design, it then takes away from all the other things that make the game bad, such as the music, art direction, combat, certain mechanics, story, pacing, and everything else that's vital in a video game. Honestly, me personally, I thought a lot of the trailers from the Game Awards were cool in some way, but a lot of them didn't show any gameplay. And for those that didn't show any gameplay, especially for new IPs, I didn't judge them at all. Yeah, I don't like the characters in Intergalactic Heretic trailer, but I don't even know if it's even in a game genre that I would even play. Is it an RPG? Is it an adventure? Is it a mix of both? Will there be ship combat? Is it a shooter? Or am I just going to be using that sword the whole time? I don't even know if it's even a game, honestly. So I do understand people's concern about wokeness killing games, but I honestly don't think it's solely that problem. A lot of things need to go wrong for a game to go bad, and woke ideals is just a small part of a whole collection of problems. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video if you enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you think the same or different as me. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.